Black men, a lot of times, they don't even, they try to mask it as preference. Oh, I just prefer to date outside my race. But it's not really you preferring them. It's really you using, I'm going to use white women as an example. It's really you using white women as pawns, as, trophies, as kind of like a status of your social status. You're trying to get that much closer to the white man, so you're gonna, oh, if the white man dates white women and I date white women, I'm that much closer to being just like the white man. No. I'm gonna stop saying I feel like black men who date exclusively outside their race are coons. They are being shucking and jiving coons, right? And I feel like Kwame is such a good example of this because he literally hit on every point of coonery all within a few episodes. I mean, it's extraordinary. First, the self hate, because we already talked about that, right? First, black men who did outside their race, they hate blackness. They, a portion of them, they hate themselves.
Oh Lord, y'all, here come the "you hate yourself" talking point.
And we saw that very early on with Kwame. He's in the pods telling people that he wanted to use the name Alex instead of Kwame because, of course, Kwame is a very black, black name. And he didn't want his blackness to disqualify him with certain people. So off the bat, we know that his goal is to date interracially because, that wouldn't matter to a black girl. But he's saying, well, for the non-black girls, I still want a chance with y'all. So I was going to use the name Alex. So we already see the self-hate with Kwame right off the bat. Like, you wasted no time telling us that you hate yourself. I feel bad that people really go through their life hating themselves, like truly. And this was a good example of that. And then we move on a few episodes in.
Well, she does have a point right there because if you're doing that, that means you have a self-hating mentality. And to be fair, to be objective, there are some black men out there that only date white women because I guess they hate themselves, whatever. I wouldn't say they hate themselves, but they have this affinity for trying to be close to whiteness. You know, like people like Myron Gaines and Fresh and Fit, those types of dudes. And guys out there, if you're doing that, stop doing that. If you date white women, if you date non-black women, you don't have to take a piss on black women to do that. Just do that.
And he's giving us this little sob story about how when he was in high school, he couldn't even pick up his prom date because um what did he say? He couldn't pick up his prom date because he was black. Now, I'm not really sure why he told that story. I'm sure that he was, fishing for some sympathy or empathy from us, but me as a viewer, I had no sympathy for him. I did not feel bad for him, not 1 ounce, because you did that to yourself. You could have took a black girl to prom and had a great time at prom, but no, you robbed yourself of a memorable experience like prom.
Well, it's easy for you to say because you're not him. Because, black women say the shit like this all the time, but the type of guy that she's describing, which is this Kwame guy, he sounds like the type of guy that black women wouldn't date. You see, a lot of times when you're not, I guess when you don't have any swag or you ain't on you, or you're not on bullshit, black women like to call you lame. And this is one of these guys that she's describing that black women would typically call lame. You see, it's easy to judge him because you don't know his origin story. Something had to happen in his life for him to come to that conclusion. You have to understand someone's origin story. Now, I'm not speaking up for this man. If he's doing this shit she's saying he's doing? Yeah, that is self-hating. But at the same time, I before I would make my assessment, I would like to know his origin story before I did that.
And inflicted some trauma, having an experience of overt racism. You could have went to prom, like I said, you could have had a great time with a black girl, but no. And here's the coon's motto: they would rather have white rejection than black acceptance. They would rather go and struggle to fit into white spaces than go to communities where they are loved and appreciated, where they'll be accepted.
Facts. That's
They
what
would
coons
rather
do.
struggle to fit into a space where those people are rejecting them constantly. And then
Myron
he goes on to
Gaines.
say, because of that prom experience, he felt like he always had to prove himself. Prove yourself to who, Kwame? To white people? So you'd be willing to spend the rest of your life trying to prove yourself to people who will never see you as equal anyway, instead of, like I said, just going to your own community where you will be 100% accepted and loved. You really
Now, once again, it's easy for her to say that because she's not him. She hasn't really she doesn't know this man's origin story. Like I said before, you don't. How do you know that he will be accepted and loved in his own community? How you know he wasn't picked on by other black people? This does happen. Now, mind you guys, I'm far from being a coon, and I'm not, no one saying denigrating black people by no means. And I'm not, and I damn sure ain't caping for white folks. But a lot of times, you'll have some guys or some black men or some black people who found who've had non-black friends that treat them better than their own family, that treat them better than their own people in their community. So this could be the case. But like I said, you have to get to know this man's origin story to know before you make the assessment about him.
have to hate yourself. I mean, at that point, he's like an emotional cutter. You know, like he's like, oh, I mean, I love the rejection so much. It's pathetic. It's literally pathetic. I didn't feel bad for him when he was telling us that prom story, but I truly do feel bad for him because he really seems to really hate himself. And even beyond that, right? You know, beyond the shucking and jiving of having to prove himself to people who don't give a fuck about him. We see his relationship because he's dating someone white. He got Chelsea, and I don't really feel like their relationship is going that well because, like I said, if you hate yourself, how can you give someone else love?
That's true.
It doesn't. It will never work out. Shay, run while you can, girl. Run and get yourself a nice pro-black man, someone who appreciates blackness when he sees it, because obviously the guy that you are with does not.
Oh Lord, here go one of these pro-black chicks, y'all. Now, guys, it always amazes me how these women come out and say they're so pro-black, but they the first thing they do is try to talk down on black men. The first thing they do is try to spew propaganda on black men, but they're pro-black. You see, when you see women like this talking about they're pro-black, you have to add women on at the end of that motherfucker. They're pro-black women because when the smoke clears, they're only going to do what's best for black women. That's it. So you can miss us with this pro-black shit.
Does not, okay? And you let him, slide with little stuff. It's gonna manifest into really big stuff later on. I promise you, it always does. The red flags that we see in men, ladies, I'm talking to y'all, the red flags that we see in men that we let slide early on are always the
So I guess black women don't show red flags. Notice she this woman has said she's pro-black, guys, but she's only directing this shit towards black men. I find it funny because here's the thing. She said black men who date white women are coons, right? So what do you have to say about people like Tamron Hall? Is she a coon? How about Eve? Is Eve a coon? How about Venus and Serena Williams? Are they coons? They all date white men. How about Sage Steele? Well, we know Sage Steele is a coon. How about Candace? Well, we know Candace Owens is a coon. Yeah, I can go down the list of black women who are married to black men. Zoe Saldana, is she a coon? Ebony K. Williams, is she a coon? She was engaged to a white man. You see, hell, Holly Berry. But you see, this woman would never come out and say that about these women. She would never call the women that I listed, she would never come out and call these women coons. She would never do that because the thing of it is, it's easy to take a shit on black men. It's easier. You can't take shit on black women like that because that's pretty much her bread and butter audience. So she can't do that. So by her being saying that she's pro black, I don't respect that.
The reasons why the relationship does not make it in the end. Every single time. Those one or two, oh, well, I don't know. Those are always the reasons that you end up breaking up in the end. I promise you, it always is. It always is, especially something as big as this. I mean, he doesn't date black girls. If I had a white guy come up to me and he's like, "Oh, I never date white women," I would look at him like something's wrong with you.
I can agree with
How are
that.
you white and you don't date
That's a
white
good point.
women? So I don't see how we don't think the same thing with black men. How are you black and you don't date black women? Something's wrong with you.
You see, now she's getting into the going to the realm of generalizing black men. Now she made some points that I kind of agree with, but now when you start generalizing black men, that's when I turn up because all black men who date outside their race are not just specifically dating that race. That doesn't mean that they don't date black women. In many cases, in most cases, if you're dating a non-black woman, you just happen to be dating that non-black woman at that time. That don't mean you don't date black. That doesn't mean you don't date black women. We got to get rid of this whole narrative that if you date one white woman or one non-black woman, you don't date black women. That's not the case. It's in many cases, in most cases, it's just you just happen to be dating that non-black woman at that time. That's it.
You have a mental illness, sir. You are mentally not well. So
You have a mental illness now because you don't want her.
Shay, like I said, should you be worried? Yes. Dump him, boo. Get somebody new. Get somebody better.
Wow, so pro-black of this woman. Now, this is a woman, she's always talking that crazy about black men. She's always talking down on black men. This woman is always now, mind you guys, she's a self-proclaimed pro-black, right? But this is a woman who's always trying to influence other black women into playing games with men, breaking up with men, and just disrespecting black men. She's always trying to get black women to do this stuff, but she's pro-black.
Preferably not a self-hating coon. Yeah, because we deal with enough stuff in the black community. We don't need all that, all that shit from someone's childhood and they're trying to prove themselves to white people. No. No, girl, run.
No, we
Run
don't.
as fast as you can. My TikTok videos cover a lot of stuff. I swear, like, you guys are going to be emailing me, and I feel like I have a TikTok video to explain literally everything. I talk a lot, obviously. But no, yeah, like that deep dive into Kwame was just it was just so much needed because there was just so many points. I mean, the self-hate, the putting yourself into situations where you're not wanted, the proving you're that having to prove yourself, the shucking the jive. Like, is it not exhausting? Isn't that exhausting to live a life where you feel like you have to prove yourself to white people? And I'm more than convinced that that is a big reason why we see so many black athletes date white women too or date outside their race. There's a dynamic with, these white athletic teams, in the NF or the in the fucking NFL and the NBA, because white men own those teams. Those are major, they're owned by white men. And we see these black athletes trying to prove themselves like, oh, that white man doesn't own me. I'm dating a white woman. How could he own me? But that's oversimplifying it. But that's basically what it is. Like the black men, a lot of times they don't even, they try to mask it as preference. Oh, I just prefer to date outside my race. But it's not really you preferring them. It's really you using, I'm gonna use white women as an example. It's really you using white women as pawns, as trophies, as kind of like a status of your social status. You're trying to get that much closer to the white man, so you're gonna, oh, if the white man dates white women and I date white women, I'm that much closer to being just like the white man. No. Mm-mm.
So basically, because you're dating a white woman and you're a pro athlete, that means you're trying to be like white men. Man, get the fuck out of here. This shit is ridiculous.
Hun, you will never, the average white man is never going to see the average black man as equal, and that's just what it is. That's just the world that we live in today. So I mean, just knowing that and then seeing you coons try to keep up with them by dating white women, come on. It's laughable.
See, once again, guys, she was saying some stuff that I kind of agree with, but now she's going to the point of generalizing black men, and that's when I kick in. You see, all of a sudden, because you're a pro athlete and you date a white woman, that means you're trying to be like white men. I mean, she don't know what the fuck she talking about. Where's the proof in that? Where's the proof in that? Guys, I told you this, I say this shit ad nauseum. Interracial dating is only a crime when black men do it. Notice she's only talking about black men. She's not talking about black women. It's being that she's pro-black, right? Being that she's pro-black, she's supposed to call shit straight down the middle. You supposed to call out these black women too that's married to black men. I mean, that's married to white men. Why you not doing? Why you not calling them out? But once again, it's easy to take a shit on black men. It's easy to do that. It's not easy to take a shit on black women because that's her bread and butter audience. She can't do that.
It truly is laughable. So, yeah, I try to stay away from. And here's the thing: it's not even like, oh, I just don't date black men that before me have only dated non-black women. I don't even want to be around black men like that, because obviously your judgment is off on a major, section of your life, like dating. I mean, who you choose to be your partner and who you choose to marry is the biggest decision that you'll ever make in your life. That's why someone's dating life and you
So pretty much what she's saying right here is because you dated a non-black woman, she don't even want to be around you. Like, man, like her argument is super flawed. I mean, this is beyond extreme. And you see, women like her are the enemy to black men. Being that she says she's pro-black, she's actually the enemy to black men because the women, the black men, the black women that you try to date, you have women like this in their ear. So yeah, I declare women like this my enemy. You're the enemy to men like me because no one's saying you're in the ear of the women that I try to date, which is black women. You're the enemy.
their dating history tells us so much about them. That's the biggest decision that you'll ever make in your life, because who you choose to spend your life with reflects on who you are as a person. Who you choose to surround yourself with is a reflection of you. And in all areas of life, I would not want to associate myself with someone who was just so anti-black. Mm-mm. No, thank you. No, thank you. So thank you guys for the questions. I mean, this is a very short little, episode, but
Hey, bitch, get your ass on somewhere. See, guys, I'm getting tired of all this one-sided shit. You know what I'm saying? The hypocrisy and when it comes to the dating market in the black community, it's always one way. It's always one way. You see, black men, we're supposed to forego our happiness to satisfy black men. I mean, to satisfy black women. We're just supposed to nod our heads and tell black women that they're right and tell them that they're queens and we get nothing out of it. No. Now she doesn't want black men to date non-black women. Okay, fine, that's your opinion. But most black men, they're gonna rock with who rocks with them. So if a black woman doesn't want to get on his program, what is he supposed to do? Just stay single and wait for a black woman to get on this program? No, he's gonna go with the woman that's getting on this program. And if it happens to be a white woman, so be it. If it happens to be an Asian woman, so be it. If it happens to be a Latino woman, so be it. Black men out there, rock with who rocks with you. Rock with the woman that's willing to get on your program. If a black woman is ready, willing to get on your program, cool. But if she ain't, fuck her. Don't let these people shame you into dating non-black women. Don't let these people shame you into doing something that you don't want to do. We're the only men that get shamed for interracial dating. It's cool for everybody else to do it except us. It's only a crime when black men do it. And black men, we getting tired of that shit, man. We getting tired of people telling us what we need to do and how we supposed to live. Black men, focus on your happiness, man. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm here to encourage you guys out there to focus on your happiness and focus on your purpose. But anyway, y'all, talk to me in the comments. This your boy MMAZ, Mazo Capone. I love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Like and subscribe. I'm out.